Good morning, everyone. I hope you guys are all having a blessed week. And I want to talk to you for just a minute about the world we live in. You know, I've been watching the news lately, and you know this war with Israel, which could very well turn into it very well could be the Psalm 83 war and turn into Ezekiel 38 and 39. You guys notice that Israel was attacked by Hamas, and I mean, women, children were killed, slaughtered, hostages taken, and then Israel defends itself, and all of a sudden in the whole world, Israel's the bad guy. In the whole wide world, Israel's the bad guy. But that's the world we live in. Romans 1:28 says, "And even as they did not like to retain God in their knowledge, God gave them over to a reprobate mind." You know, we've talked about that word reprobate before. It literally means a mind that no longer functions. A brain that no longer functions the way God created it to function. You know, there's a few things that it's crazy. People won't admit the truth. This world's crazy. This is a couple of things that are crazy. It takes more energy to produce a windmill than that windmill will ever produce in its entire lifetime. It will never produce as much energy as it took to create it, to make it. And those windmills that are just out there just flinging around, they kill birds by the tens of thousands. The birds can't see the propellers, they just fly right into them. You go below a bunch of windmills, I've seen pictures, there's dead birds everywhere. Where's all the tree huggers when it comes to that? Oh, we got to have these windmills, but yet it kills all these birds. And they'll never produce the energy it took to make them. Electric cars. You know that a lot of the big three, Chrysler, General Motors, and Ford, they're actually starting to give up on electric cars. They're saying it costs so much to produce them, the people don't want to buy them, and now that people are learning what a scam they are with these batteries, people are saying forget it. You can buy an electric car, right? I mean, what do they cost? $50,000, $60,000. Well, the batteries only last between 5 and 7 years. That's all the batteries last. Less than that if you have to charge it every day. Well, listen, these batteries in these electric cars, depending on what kind you have, they cost between $7,000 and $25,000 to replace those batteries. Can you afford to pay $50,000 for a car that's only going to last 5 years, and you're going to have to put another 15 to 20 grand into it to replace the battery? That's crazy. It's insanity. And people are starting to say, no thank you. You know that in California right here, I don't know if I've mentioned this before, but all of our gas mowers, gas edgers, blowers, generators, everything, those aren't allowed in California after December 31st. You can't buy them. So I went, because my mower's like 7 years old, and it's getting about, its lifespan's about up. So I went over and looked at some of these Ryobi ones at Home Depot. Well, the cost of the mower's not too awful bad. It's $399. But the little battery that goes in the thing, the battery costs $250 when you got to replace it. And I mean, how long does it last? Maybe a year or two? That's all they last in my drills. So you're going to pay $250 every couple of years for a new little battery. That's insanity. Here's another good one. Most liberals, those on the far left, most tree-hugging liberals, they will die to save a tree frog. They will absolutely die to save a tree frog, but yet they will absolutely defend a woman's right to have an abortion. Save the tree frog, kill a human baby, no biggie. That is a reprobate mind, a mind that no longer functions. In America, you harm an eagle's egg, you climb up into an eagle's nest and hurt one of those eggs, that is a felony. You will go to prison for that. But abort a human, perfectly fine. Perfectly okay. They're kicking homeless veterans out of shelters to make room for the immigrants that have come across the Mexico border in the last 2 years. What is it now? Over 2 million have come across. Sometimes we have 60,000 a month coming into America. And most of them are young men fighting age. You know that most of them are terrorists. Well, they're kicking veterans out of homeless shelters to make way for these refugees. I saw a thing the other day. There's several hotels that are right across the street from Central Park. 4- and 5-star hotels in New York City. Hotel rooms that would cost over $1,000 a night. Well, they're filled up with refugees. They get room service. They bring the meals to them. They get room service. 3 meals a day. They get their laundry done. They get subway passes. They get a card, an EBT card for $2,500 a month. And our veterans who have served this country, homeless women and children who were born here, get nothing. Nothing. Romans 2:9 says, tribulation and anguish upon every soul of man that does evil, the Jew first and also the Gentile. People, listen, our government officials, they absolutely have a reprobate mind. They could care less about you and me. They could care less about these refugees. Everything is for a show. Do you see San Francisco this week? San Francisco. Who's this guy? Xi Jinping or whoever the heck the president of China is? He's coming to visit. So they cleaned all the homeless out this week. They put all the homeless somewhere else so this guy can come in, look around and say, man, what a beautiful city. And then they'll bring all the homeless back. They clean them all up just because this guy from China is coming to visit. It's crazy. A reprobate mind, a brain that no longer functions. You ever notice how the liberal left are supposed to be all-inclusive, but they're the most racist people in America. You ever notice how the liberal left, when you watch them on TV, they're the meanest, nastiest people you will ever meet. I see them where they'll have a college debate, and when the person starts giving them any facts whatsoever, they get mad, they start screaming, cussing, and run out of the room. They're the meanest, nastiest people ever. People, listen, right now, we have a set of young people. I've been watching them on the news for weeks. Listen, most people the age of 30 years old and younger, most of these people, they do not believe in capitalism. They don't want capitalism. They want socialism. They don't want to go to work. They want the government to give them absolutely everything. I saw a video, some of you probably saw it, about that girl that was crying. She graduated from college with a master's degree and she got a job downtown. Well, she has to commute to her job. Takes her almost an hour. And she's sitting there crying because she doesn't have time. All she does is work. She doesn't have time to go to the gym. She doesn't have time to go out dating. She doesn't have time, for her friends because all she does is work. She has to work 9 to 5, and the 9 to 5 is so oppressive that she just can't do it. You know what that's called? That's called life. Life. It's a job. You're not supposed to like your job. You go there and work so you can feed yourself and take care of your family. But they don't want that. We have a generation coming up now that everything's been handed to them, and that's the way they want it. And they'll do anything the government tells them as long as the government keeps giving them the freebies. People, listen, we're hosed. America is hosed. I mean, we are absolutely hosed. But you know one thing that I think, and you know what, listen, I do not for 1 minute blame the refugees. I don't blame them at all. I don't have any ill feelings toward these people because listen, if I lived in Venezuela and there were bullets flying and me and my family wasn't safe and I heard about America where I could go live in a 4-star hotel, people, I'd be going too. I'd be coming right across that southern border. So I don't blame them. But listen, this country, we're toast. We're toast. I don't think that we can ever undo what Biden did. But you know one thing I think? This is what I think. I think that all these people, all these refugees, the reason they're bringing them in is they think they're going to vote Democratic. They're going to vote, for the left, but they're not. These people came from that society, and they're not going to vote for it again. These people, when they see what's going on, I think they're going to vote Republican. Anyway, both of them are crooked. Republican, Democrat, don't matter. But anyway, I just want to give you guys something to think about. Heaven or hell, you choose. Just remember, once you take your last breath, it's a done deal.